Have you ever felt it, that quiet discomfort in the room when you're around someone who has truly faced themselves? It isn't aggression, it's not arrogance, it's the unnerving stillness of a mind that has walked through fire and is no longer afraid of being burned. A mind that doesn't need your approval, your agreement, or your comfort. When you go through a real personal transformation, it makes other people uneasy. Your growth becomes a mirror, and most people are terrified of what it shows them, their own complacency, their own fear, their own stagnation. This evolution can be an incredibly lonely path. Your very existence starts to challenge the comfortable sleep of the world, which often leads to social rejection. But what if that feeling of being an outsider wasn't a curse? What if it was the first, necessary step toward forging a will of iron? This isn't a feel-good video. It's not about positive thinking or finding your bliss. This is a guide to building a mind so powerful, so resilient, that your mere presence challenges the mediocrity around you. We're going to explore how to embrace the chaos and pain that others run from and use it to build an unbreakable will. If you're happy with how things are, this video isn't for you. But if you feel that discontent, that ache for something more, then you're in the right place. Nietzsche saw a creeping sickness in the modern world, a desperate flight from any real pain into the warm, suffocating arms of the herd. He argued that modern society is built on a promise of comfort, a frantic effort to sand down every rough edge of life, to medicate every discomfort, and to silence every voice that dares to be different. This creates what he called herd morality, a value system where the highest good is to be safe, agreeable, and above all, the same as everyone else. Think about your own life. From a young age, we're taught to conform. We get rewarded for fitting in and are often subtly punished for standing out. This isn't some grand conspiracy, it's just the instinct of the herd. The herd sees the individual, the person who thinks differently or strives for something higher, as a threat to its stability. It fears the strong and the exceptional, so it plays a clever trick. It convinces them to serve the herd, to become its protectors, which neutralizes their dangerous potential by making them useful. Nietzsche called this the morality of mediocrity. In a world run by the herd, everything eventually gets corrupted, except for one type of person, the incurably mediocre. This mediocrity is sold to us as a form of happiness, a state where you specialize in being a predictable cog in the machine. The result is a society of what Nietzsche grimly called last men. These are people who have traded greatness for comfort. They've eliminated suffering and risk, but in doing so have also eliminated any chance of becoming something more. They live for small daily pleasures, with no higher purpose. They are comfortable, but their comfort is a cage. If you feel alienated by this world, if you feel misunderstood or alone, congratulations. That feeling isn't a sign that you're broken, it's a sign of health. It's the first tremor of an awakening spirit. The discomfort you feel is your mind rejecting the tranquilizer of mediocrity. To truly transform yourself, you have to challenge these norms, step away from the herd, and claim your own mind. This will inevitably create friction. As you change and grow, you become a living threat to the complacency of those around you. They might react with quiet criticism, awkward silence, or outright rejection. Don't take it personally. It's a deep instinctual reaction to a force that threatens their comfortable world. This rejection is real. Neuroscience even shows that the brain regions activated by social exclusion are the same ones that process physical pain. Your growth literally feels like a threat to them. But for Nietzsche, this pain is never something to avoid. It is the raw material from which strength is forged. Society tells you loneliness is a disease and suffering is a mistake. Nietzsche taught the exact opposite. He insisted that to build a powerful mind, you must learn to walk alone. You have to completely reframe your relationship with pain. It is not an enemy to be defeated, it is a teacher to be respected. As he wrote, examine the lives of the best and most fruitful people, and ask yourselves whether a tree that is supposed to grow to a proud height can dispense with bad weather and storms. The answer is no. Hardship, resistance, doubt, and betrayal. These aren't obstacles to your growth, they are the necessary conditions for it. While other philosophies might try to escape or rationalize suffering, Nietzsche affirms it as a vital part of a full life. He called pain the ultimate liberator of the spirit, writing, "I doubt that such pain makes us better, but I know that it makes us more profound." This is the forge of solitude. When you break from the herd, you will feel the cold. Friendships that were built on conformity might fade away. Opportunities that require you to be less than who you are will disappear. This is a necessary sacrifice, because it's in that quiet, solitary space, away from the noise of the crowd, that you can finally hear your own voice and begin the real work of self-overcoming. Self-overcoming is the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy. It's the process of using the challenges you face to transform yourself. The person you were before a crisis cannot be the person who gets through it. A stronger version of you must be born from the ashes. This demands a radical acceptance of your reality. You have to stop wishing for life to be easier and start wishing for yourself to be stronger. This isn't about gritting your teeth and just enduring pain. It's about using that pain as a chisel to sculpt a new self. Imagine a tree in a windy place. The constant pressure of the wind is precisely what forces it to grow stronger roots and a thicker trunk. Without that struggle, it would be weak, unable to withstand the storms that will inevitably come. For Nietzsche, our character works the exact same way. The discomfort you feel, the social rejection that stings, this is your bad weather. These are your storms, and you have a choice. You can run back to the shelter of the herd, or you can use the resistance to build a resilience they can't comprehend. As Nietzsche famously wrote, "Nobody can build the bridge for you to walk across the river of life. No one but you yourself alone. That bridge is built in solitude. It's forged in suffering. And its purpose is to carry you to the person you have the potential to become." This brings us to one of Nietzsche's most powerful ideas, Amor Fati. It's Latin for a love of one's fate. This is the final step in turning suffering into strength. It's not enough to simply endure hardship. You must learn to love it. Nietzsche called this his formula for greatness. He wrote that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity. Not merely bear what is necessary, but love it. This is the ultimate rebellion against the modern urge to complain, to wish things were different, to see life as a series of problems that need fixing. Amor Fati is an active, powerful stance. It's the practice of looking at your entire life with all its victories and tragedies, its beauty and its ugliness, and saying yes to all of it. It's accepting every single moment, no matter how difficult, as if you had chosen it yourself. Now, this isn't about being passive. It's not shrugging your shoulders and saying, "It is what it is." It's an act of supreme power. It's recognizing that every event, every setback, every moment of pain was a necessary ingredient in making you who you are today. To wish away any part of your past is to wish away a part of yourself. Nietzsche believed everything is woven together. As he put it, if our soul has trembled with happiness just once, all of eternity was required to produce that one moment, and in that single moment of saying yes, all of eternity is redeemed and justified. This perspective transforms your entire relationship with reality. Instead of fighting against what is, you learn to work with it. You start to find the value in the struggle itself, not just in the outcome. When you face adversity, the question is no longer, "Why is this happening to me?" It becomes, "What can this teach me? How can this make me stronger?" This shift in mindset builds a profound, almost unbreakable resilience. Some critics argue this could lead to a cold acceptance of suffering in the world, but that's a misunderstanding. Loving your own fate doesn't make you indifferent to the pain of others. Instead, it gives you the strength to face the world as it is, without being broken by it, a strength you can then use to act with purpose. To practice Amor Fati is to become a yes-sayer. You stop fighting the ugly parts of life. You stop blaming, you stop complaining, and you learn to see the necessity in all things. You recognize that you can't have the mountaintop without the valley, the strength without the struggle, or the joy without the sorrow. The two are woven together. Embracing this truth is what allows you to not just survive, but to thrive, to find beauty not in the absence of chaos, but right in the heart of it. When people hear the phrase will to power, they almost always get it wrong. They imagine a ruthless thirst to dominate others. This is a tragic misinterpretation, one often twisted by tyrants to justify their own cruelty. For Nietzsche, the will to power is not about controlling others, it's the fundamental drive for internal control. It is the engine of self-mastery. Nietzsche saw the will to power as the basic irrational force inside all living things. It's the impulse to grow, to expand, to overcome obstacles, and to express one's full potential. It's a drive stronger than the will to simply survive. People will die for a cause they believe in. It's stronger than the will to procreate. Ascetics will renounce worldly pleasure for a higher spiritual discipline. The highest and most noble expression of this will is what Nietzsche called self-overcoming. This is where you turn the will inward. You harness it not to master other people, but to master yourself. He challenges the very idea that you have a single, unified self. Instead, he suggests we are all a chaotic collection of competing drives. One part of you wants to go to the gym, another wants to stay on the couch. One part wants to speak a hard truth, another is afraid of the consequences. The person who achieves self-mastery is the one who can organize this inner chaos, who can consciously choose which drives to elevate and which to suppress, forging them into an authentic, unified whole. This is the path to becoming what Nietzsche called the Übermensch, or Overman. The Übermensch is not a master race or a superhero. It's a psychological ideal. It's a symbol for a human who has overcome the limits of herd morality and has become the creator of their own values. The Overman doesn't search for meaning in the world, they create it. This is the answer to Nietzsche's famous declaration that God is dead. When the idea of a pre-packaged absolute meaning dies, it can be terrifying. It can lead to nihilism, the feeling that life is pointless, but for the strong, it is a moment of total liberation. When you truly realize you are alone in the face of chaos, with no instruction manual and no guarantees, you have a choice. You can either collapse in despair, or you can create. The Overman is the one who creates. They embrace this terrifying freedom and take on the brutal responsibility of building their own soul. They become, as Nietzsche put it, a poet of their life. This entire process is an act of war against mediocrity. To think for yourself, to create your own values, to live authentically, this is a direct assault on a world that rewards conformity. The will to power, aimed at self-mastery, is the force that allows you to withstand the pressure of the herd. It's the inner fire that compels you to become who you are. It's not about becoming powerful over others. It's about becoming so powerful within yourself that their opinions no longer matter. We started this by acknowledging a hard truth. Your growth will make other people uncomfortable. It's a lonely, difficult path that forces you to walk through the fire of solitude and suffering. But as we've seen through Nietzsche's eyes, this isn't a path to fear. It's the only path to real strength. First, you have to recognize the sickness of the modern world, the seductive comfort of the herd that values mediocrity over greatness. Then, you must find the courage to step into the forge of solitude, understanding that suffering isn't a bug, it's a feature, the catalyst for real transformation. From there, you learn to not just tolerate your fate, but to love it with Amor Fati, saying yes to every last piece of your life. And finally, you harness your will to power, not to conquer the world, but to win the ultimate victory, mastery over yourself. Building a mind that terrifies others was never about intimidation. It's about becoming so unshakably authentic, so rooted in your own self-created values, that you expose the weakness and conformity of the world just by existing. Your strength becomes a quiet act of rebellion. Your peace becomes a profound challenge. The only question left is, are you willing to pay the price for that kind of freedom? Are you willing to embrace the loneliness and the struggle to become the person you were truly meant to be? If this journey resonated with you, subscribe for more explorations into the heart of philosophy and self-mastery. And for today's question, comment below. Which of Nietzsche's concepts, the herd, necessary suffering, Amor Fati, or the will to power, challenges you the most, and why? Become who you are. The world is waiting to be terrified by your light.